Why are your neighbor's peaches and apples as big as your fist, while yours end up as tiny as walnuts year after year? You've probably asked yourself that exact question while looking over the fence at someone else's massive harvest. The first thought that comes to mind is usually, well, they must have a better variety, a younger tree, or some magical soil. I am here to surprise you. It is not about the variety, it is not about the age of your tree, and it is definitely not about bad soil. There are actually just 5 specific actions that control the size of your fruit. Unfortunately, most gardeners make at least 3 of these 5 fatal mistakes every single season. Today, we are going to break down every single one of them so you can force your trees to reach their full potential. Make sure to stick around until the very end, because the last mistake on our list is the most unnoticed. Almost nobody thinks about it, yet it wipes out half of people's potential harvest every autumn. Let's get into it. First, let's understand why fruit stays small in the first place. The final size of an apple, peach, or pear is determined long before it turns red or yellow on the branch. Your fruit tree is an incredibly smart living organism that strictly allocates its internal resources. If resources are low, the tree instinctively saves energy just to survive. There are 5 main reasons for this: too many fruitlets, a lack of water, missing nutrients, poor sunlight from an overgrown canopy, and improper pruning. The underlying principle is simple: no tree, no matter how healthy, can feed thousands of fruits equally well all at the same time. It simply runs out of energy and nutrients, resulting in thousands of tiny, tasteless fruits. Now let's dive into the 5 actions that will transform your harvest. Method number 1 addresses the most common and psychologically difficult mistake gardeners make: refusing to thin out young fruit. We naturally hate plucking away future harvest. It feels like the more fruit lets that set in the spring, the bigger the harvest will be in the fall. But in gardening, yes, more does not mean better. If you leave 100 tiny fruits on a single branch, the tree divides its nutrients into 100 tiny pieces. You get a sour, undersized crop that threatens to snap your branches under its weight. Thinning should be done when the fruitlets reach the size of a large pea or a small hazelnut. Ruthlessly strip away any misshapen, damaged, or crowded fruit. For large stone fruits like peaches, leave 4 to 6 inches of space between each fruit. For apples and pears, leave just 1 or 2 of the strongest fruits per cluster. The result? The remaining fruit gets a double or triple dose of nutrients, grows huge, keeps branches from snapping, and ripens much more evenly. Even a perfectly thin tree won't yield giant, juicy fruit if you make the next mistake. Method number 2 is proper watering. Most gardeners water their orchard by running around with a hose, dampening the top inch of soil and calling it a day. This is a huge mistake. Frequent shallow watering is much worse than rare deep watering. Surface moisture evaporates quickly, leaving the deep tap roots half a meter below completely dry. A tree desperately needs water during 3 critical windows: during bloom, while the fruit is actively expanding, and a few weeks before harvest. Alternating between severe drought and sudden heavy soaking damages your crop, causing the fruit to crack and rot on the branch. Excessive water is also dangerous because it suffocates the roots. The ideal routine is rare but deep watering, about once every 2 to 3 weeks, soaking the soil down at least 18 to 20 inches. Even tons of water won't help if your tree lacks the raw materials to build juicy fruit flesh, which brings us to method number 3. Method number 3 is smart fertilizing without excess nitrogen. In the spring, everyone loves feeding their trees heavy doses of manure or nitrogen fertilizers. The tree responds enthusiastically. It pumps out lush green leaves, grows long shoots, and looks gorgeous, while the fruit stays pea-sized. Why? Because all the energy went into growing foliage. Nitrogen is only needed at the very beginning of the season. To build large, heavy, sweet fruit, a tree desperately needs potassium, phosphorus, and trace minerals like boron, zinc, and calcium. Potassium should be applied right when the fruit is filling out. Too many gardeners only remember fertilizer in the autumn after harvest, or toss nitrogen indiscriminately in the spring. Remember, no nitrogen in the second half of summer. Stick strictly to potassium and phosphorus blends. There is another critical factor that many gardeners overlook until disaster strikes. Method number 4 is sunlight and proper pruning. Have you ever noticed that the biggest, reddest apples always hang at the very top of the tree or on the outer edges of the branches? Inside the dense center, hidden in the shade, you only find small, green, sour fruit. A thick, overgrown canopy works directly against your harvest. Leaves cut off from direct sunlight cannot perform photosynthesis efficiently. Inner branches become energy drains, sucking sap from the tree without producing anything valuable. Proper pruning, shaping the tree into an open bowl or modified central leader, delivers incredible results. Every branch gets direct sunlight, air flows freely through the canopy to prevent fungal diseases, and nutrients are redirected away from useless water sprouts directly into the fruit buds. The biggest mistake here is feeling sorry for the tree and letting it turn into a dense jungle. This brings us to the final mistake, the one most people notice too late, after their tree is completely exhausted. Method number 5 is never overloading your tree with fruit year after year. You've probably seen this happen. One year, a plum or apple tree is breaking under the weight of its fruit, and the next year, there isn't a single apple to be found. People say the tree is resting. In reality, the tree is suffering from severe exhaustion. An overwhelming harvest drains every last bit of vital energy from the plant, leaving it with zero energy to set fruit buds for the following season. An exhausted tree may not even survive a harsh winter. To prevent this, go back to rule number 1, thin your fruitlets. Quality always beats quantity in the orchard. It is far better to harvest 60 pounds of giant premium fruit every single year than to get 200 pounds of tiny drop fruit every 2 years that ends up in the compost pile. Let's quickly recap the most common mistakes so you can avoid them. First, feeling guilty and failing to thin out young fruitlets. Second, shallow watering or letting the tree dry out during critical growth phases. Third, overusing nitrogen late in the season while ignoring potassium. Fourth, neglecting pruning and blocking sunlight from the inner canopy. And fifth, letting the tree exhaust itself with an oversized crop, ruining its biennial bearing cycle. Fixing even 1 or 2 of these mistakes will dramatically increase the size of your fruit this coming season. Big, sweet, impressive fruit isn't a stroke of luck or magic. It is the direct result of smart, intentional care. Thin your fruitlets regularly, water deeply, feed with potassium at the right time, open up the canopy to the sun, and protect your tree from exhaustion. Apply these tips in your garden this season, and the results will speak for themselves. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more orchard tips. Drop a comment below letting me know what fruit trees you are growing and what problem bothers you the most. Tiny fruit, diseases, or pests. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.